where we are going, get us to our destination. So uh, we are still here. We are open to answer questions concerning the website. This website, I really want each and every one of us to get used to it, this new website, so that we'll be able to be making our one agenda, our agenda, even as long as we are here on space. So, and our people should not, should start seeing those guns and all those illegitimate Nigerian terrorist stooges in our land irrelevant. No matter what do, no matter what they are saying, just count it as their political statements and whatever they are doing. It doesn't count where different people are. So they are never meant well for us, and they will never mean well for us now. So the fact still remains that, you know, if any of them mean well for us, they will start talking about Biafra, and they will start supporting our Biafran Defense Force, and that would be the starting point. But for now, they can say anything that they want to say, because these people are not Biafras. These people are not even whom we think they are. They are stooges. They are infiltrated blood, and these people are the people that will go to jail. They will rot in jail definitely. When we make sure we capture all of them, or they will remain in exile forever. That is going to be a punishment, because we will never forgive. Because if they can stay there in power, in position, in whatever they think that they are occupying now, and allow the Fulani to come and be killing our people, raping our women, at the end of the day, for you to do bidding of your masters, you will now come out to the world, the public, to the same people who you are there, who you are there watching and seeing how the Fulani, the people are even telling you that it is Fulani, you are coming out because they have not raped your daughter, because they have not raped your mother, because they have not raped your sister. Then you come out and you open your stupid mouth, that your stinking gutter, and be talking all trash because you think you want to please your master. Don't worry. When the time comes, even those your masters will not save you. I swear, they will not save you. So that will be the case. I pity for all those your imbecile children, and all those your stupid wife that you have around that cannot give you advice. I pity for all of you, because all of you are already meant for destruction. You will all follow the Fulani and then go to the Putajelo, where you all belong to, because that is where you belong. But we will catch you in the upper land, you will rot in jail. And if you think that you have balls, come up with anything and try to make peace with the Biafra government in the exile. Just send any of your stooges, like the way you people have been sending all those ones. We will teach them a lesson, and it will all get to you. You saw those money, all those blood, all those money that people have been killing us, abetting you thinking that you will succeed in taking over our land. After dealing with Orabu Fulani, you people will understand. You will understand better. So and the likes of her and others. So including any of you, because the last time I thought it was quick for one of the governors to, I don't know whether he was writing later or was saying this one. So I would also encourage him. That one is not enough. He should come here, use his power and everything, his connection. Come and make case with the Biafran government. Go and our headquarters in Maryland. Go and sue the head office here, and let us take it up from there. You understand? If people think that you have balls, if people think that you have balls, that is what I will encourage people to do. Because this time around now, we are now out. Biafrans are out to deal with every one of you. Whether you are in the homeland, whether you are in the diaspora, in the exile. Once you talk trash, we will let you know that this Biafra government is not a government that you can talk nonsense against without evidence. So that the gods of Biafra land will not strike you and destroy all. So therefore, we should learn to ignore all these their gossip. It will not help us. It will not take us anywhere. So let us focus on our funding, our recognition, which is very, very much important to us. I see you, MIT. Please, your hand is up. You can take it up from here. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and lovers of freedom. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very loud and clear. As we are about to enter into the spirit of the Rebbe, we move.
I want everybody to calm down. Just see and listen to. We have won battle. Just listen. Bear with me. If you know that Biafrans are indigenous, listen. Thank you so much, Biafrans and lovers of freedom. All over the world, I am His Academic Highness. I want to let our people to understand that if we did not stand strong against the devil, we can never reclaim that thing that that thing that the whole world used to know us. We can never reclaim it. That's why I started with this homily. Christians in Nigeria, the whole Christian churches today in the northern part of Nigeria are paying ransom to Boko Haram and bandits. Challenge me anywhere, both in Kaduna, in southern Kaduna, in northern Kaduna, in Gombe State, in Plateau State. Christian pastors and reverend fathers are paying money. There is something we call it in Islamic terminology. Hulama. They are paying Hulama and Bazaar to the terrorists so that they could live. And our people are not understanding that the only hope we have is BRGIE. As honorably headed by Maazio Geshkunkere, we should forget to implicate those that are not supposed to be implicated. Apart from BRGIE, your brothers and sisters that are in the politics, in the zoo, all of them are slaves. They cannot do nothing. Reverend fathers cannot do nothing. Ebukobi cannot do nothing. That one is even the biggest one. Those that are native doctors cannot do nothing. They all bow to the caliphate. But for us to get ourselves back, we need to do what? To be in line with BRGIE, headed by Ogechunkere. I want us to understand something this evening. I did not use the money that my father gave to me to study, to go and buy akara, but I used it politically. Tell them that that is what I said. Now, who registered BRGIE? The answer is Ogechunkere. Who has the right to sue anybody who misbehave against the law of BRGIE? The answer is Ogechunkere. I have given you the tip. I would like my fellow Christians to understand that the problem that they have is not Ndigo, but it is the Muslims. And also the problem that they have is that when they got small education or small money or small height, they think that that is the highest. No, that is not the highest. The highest is this. You know how you started. Haven't noticed how you started. It will help you, you will end. But if you did not know how you started, or don't even want to know how you started, definitely you will end very bad. That's a way I talk. especially in this particular perilous time, challenging time. But know you that all the professors were there, the doctors were there. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa tested the professors and the doctors. And they were not responding exactly to what is needed for Biafra to come. For the Biafran template to come. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa choose Ogechukwu. He responded exactly. And he's the one that registered BRGIE. Why are you disturbing him? Why are you disturbing him? At the face of the war, any sane human being, SANE, at the middle of war should not go and make any disturbance, any atom of disturbance against the government, talk more of the head of the government. For example, in the Middle East, Israel and Iran are fighting. Any sane human being in Iran cannot go against Iranian president. Forget about Iranian president. Any sane cabinet member or parliamentarian in Israel, in the state of Israel, can never go and disturb what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing. Any sane Israeli citizen can never go against what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing. If you will go against him, that should be when there is solution of the situation, not while there is war. Because the doctrine is dute bellum ac pacis, doctrinibus. Ndị na-agụrụ akwụkwọ na-eme ka a na-akpali ndị gụrụ akwụkwọ. The bylaw of Biafra under liberation says that there are 3 sectors that are what you call sancta sanctorum, or what you call classified, or what you call exclusive, no-go area. And that has been from the time of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's still the time of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because you can never let the world to know. It is they are classified under what you call secret of the state, SSS. Or you call it sanctissimum, SSS. Now, some people, instead of minding the principle, they are minding the fact that they are in a continent called India. India is not a continent, but I'm talking in coded language now. Or that they are in a continent known as European seas, or they are in a continent known as underground. They want to undermine the rule of law. Undermining the rule of law only lead people to the state of socio-political kakum kaga huakaga. What I'm trying to tell our people is this. You know, as you started, that is what you're supposed to know as at contemporary. And that is what is going to be the last bus stop. But if you undermine how you started, and you want to show power, you will be a loser. And at the end, the law will take its course. I'm not trying to let us to be disconsolated, but I want our people to know that, okay, Chukwunkere is very, very 110% correct, and we're supposed to accord respect to him. He is the founder of BRGIE under the order and ordinance of our leaders, MNK and Simon Ekpa. And I want to break this spiritual fact to you now that I know and I saw both leaders coming out just as designed by Almighty God. They are coming out, and the instruction is that nobody should disrupt the existing protocol. Nobody should thwart anything, but we should maintain the existing protocol. That is how it is. And God bless the Biafran people. God bless everybody who contribute and bring out his or her time, especially to disseminate this message, this gospel of freedom, that are having their hands clean, because as soon as everything becomes clear, they will not be, their works will not be put to shame, but they must be uplifted. That is the message. And thank you for listening to me. I want to use my mic, not per sempre, but for this particular time. And thank you for the opportunity. God bless you.
Okay. Thank you so much, MID, for reminding these people once again that our Ogenkere is all and all. Yes, so when our leaders come out, they will confirm it. Yes, he registered it. For now, he will be propagating us till our leaders come out. All right. Who will go next now? Tony, have you said something?
No, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
I want to appreciate all the work we've been doing. It is great. I want to thank God for choosing a set of fierce, decisive people like us. I thank God for this generation. I am blessed to be part of this generation because we stand for the truth. But there is one thing that is lacking among us, which I will itemize. Sorry to go back a little bit. There are so many people who doesn't understand the messages that our leader has given us from 2012. We passed through a lot of stages. Our PM came up, shouldered fight, internal fight, and moved forward. He now pick us to a certain stage and show us how Biafra is going to be. He draw by map, give us ideas, give us certain plates, and all of us embrace it. So many people fought him. And Nigeria thought it was a joke. When they saw the reality, Musa started crying. Nigeria said, if the chief defense staff will be crying, something is happening. They went in and had a meeting secretly, and they moved for him. They made their bribery and everything. They call him for questioning. I am surprised that those people that were hailing PM, Ubatobi, this, that, came up again after all the mountains that we have climbed and decided to be workers of the devil. I am very surprised. But there is a question I want to ask. What actually was happening and why Musa was crying? There was something we were doing. There was something that was in the air. We in this part of the world, when I say part of the world, at home, We know what we are facing. And why are most of our brothers, our sisters, living abroad, who could only call and receive messages from here, who don't know what we are feeling and the pains we are passing through, we decide to sabotage what our two leaders have built to this particular point? It is disheartening. It is very, very disheartening. I want to commend our APM. I want to commend our Minister of Information, Madam Tiruka, and so many other people who have stood to ensure that we move forward. But my little advice will be, Rama, again, can we go in, rearrange ourselves, and march on again for Musa to cry? We are doing it. We are moving. But can it touch them? Where are we going to touch them now? And they will come up to shout on the televisions, on their newspapers again, holding our two leaders. Doesn't mean we will stop or we will retreat. This is the time we need to tell them that there are millions of Nnamdi Kanu out here. There are millions of Simon Ekpa out here. Please, I commend everybody and I pray that the God who has established this foundation, that Biafra will be free, will take us to the promised land. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Tony. You should be coming up to the stage more often. Thank
I'm
you.
always on, but I stay to listen. Yes, I stay to listen.
Yeah.
Because most of us here, we know the role we play. We know what we are facing. It's not only within the Igbo speaking areas, but we are doing our best from our angles, and we know what we are facing, unidentified, which we cannot do. We cannot identify ourselves. But when the time will come, we know where the fire is coming from.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Biafra Rako. Where are you?
I did.
Okay.
Let me
Biafran
just.
Oracle in Okwaya. Are you here?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can you just give me some few minutes? I just started now. I need to listen. I need to know what's going on, and then I can come in. I don't just want to jump into start talking anything I don't know. So let me just listen a bit. I'll come in later. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let I go find something. This our space is now Radio Biafra. You know, go stop. We go do when I'm
The only
tired.
thing,
Another person.
this is the reason why I was
Biafra.
suggesting that as it is now. You know, sometimes our sister Wanda Betty, this is the time she always hosts her program in the evening. I wish she's live. I would. That is why I want each and every one of us to subscribe to her YouTube channel, so that when she's live, you can also go there and and preach the gospel there too.
Okay. Yeah, let's go and listen to something. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Um, in case, Sister Kiruka, please, I'm inside. I'm on the subway, so on that, so I might get out of network. I might come back to request for the mic. So you just accept and bring me back, please. Thank you.
Okay.
So Biafras, we are here. We are here. When you are ready to speak, just request for the mic and raise up your hand. Thank you. Raise up your hand. I don't know if our sister Mother Betty is going to is going live.
Okay.
Hello.
Mr. Betty.
Did you call my name?
But also was asking a question.
Okay. To me.
Okay. He said that sometimes when you're live, we should connect to your YouTube so we can be listening as well.
Okay, I sent you my link. You remember last week, Toti said that you should display it so that people will yes, it's for TV.
Okay.
On YouTube. Yeah, Betty for TV. You subscribe.
Okay.
And the Betty 40 seconds on Facebook.
Put the link. All right.
Travel2000.com's winter vacation sale. And it's a month.
Or against this leader, the world will come crashing down. What is happening today will be a warning. Future is to live. And they will never know. But we shall get to that later. This evening we commence, and I ask you to bring your pen and your paper. If you don't have a writing material, if you don't have your pen and your paper, this lecture will be lost on you, because we don't want the zoo to become the same again after tonight. Therefore, you must write that you do not forget, so that you do not forget this very lecture this evening, because I assure you, after this very lecture, we will play this broadcast over and over again. We will make sure that everybody, every human being, every animal, those who are flying in the air, those that are walking on all fours on the ground, even those caged, they will understand that there is nothing called Nigeria. There is no hope. They are all a bunch of hypocrites. All of them are hypocrites. Nobody loves Nigeria. It is impossible to love something that is artificially created. It is impossible for you to love something that Elohim did not make. So it's unbelievable. All of the idiots who pride themselves in saying they are one Nigerians. Tonight is your shame. And we start very methodically, very diligently, that the world may bear us witness that this very agitation led by IPOB is not only righteous, but is the right thing to do at the right time, because there is nothing called Nigeria. The Fulani Caliphate is messing up with everybody. They are toying with our brains. They have deceived us. They are killing us. They are making life intolerable. Nothing seems to be functioning. No education, no viable school system, no health care, no roads. There are no jobs. Life is meaningless only for the criminals, the looters, the cheats, and the liars. No human being can stay under such a regime, only if you are an animal. And that is why I call Nigeria a zoo. I call Nigeria a zoo because they do not reason. If people cannot reason, even dogs are better than them, because they have brain, but they cannot reason very well with it. They have eyes, but they cannot see. They have ears, they do not hear. I do not understand. I begin to worry. To ask Chukwukikabiama in heaven, are you sure you created these people from West Africa? What is wrong with them? No wonder the Europeans came to West Africa to harvest us, to the Americans, to work for them as farm animals. There is something wrong with it, I swear it. There is something wrong. Nobody can see what is happening in the zoo and wake up the next day to say they're Nigerian. There is something wrong with your brain, I assure you. He said, man, you must be very sick. I have just discovered it, that you cannot serve Nigeria. It is impossible. Once you try it, you will be destroyed. Once you try it, Elohim will take away his protection and his glory from you. Once you try it, you become a person non grata to YPOB. And once you try it, you'll be destroyed by the zoo that you seek to serve. Heaven will bear me witness that I do not lie, and I am at say, I do not lie. That is why this IPOB, I assure you, will ensure that Biafra comes in our time. Tell your friends, if you've not told them, tell them to bring their pen and paper tonight. That posterity will bear us witness that we want this generation of Indomie eaters and cultists who do not go to school. Even Jonathan is lamenting. Your universities are filled with cults because you do not study. You don't study. That is why a Senate can plagiarize a law written by the Singaporean parliament and bring it into the zoo, and the journalist is interviewing him, asking him about the laws on his speech. When this stupid journalist from Channels Television should be asking that idiot, where did you copy this from? It is called copyright infringement. It is called plagiarism. If you try it anywhere in this world, that is civilized, you go to jail. The police, all of you are not ashamed of yourselves. A senator that you claim you voted for went to Singapore or downloaded Singapore laws online, brought to you, to your so-called Senate. They brought it to your Senate. And that is what you're debating. Instead of you to ask the idiot, where did you get this thing from? Was it originally crafted by you? But the zoo is accepting plagiarism. This is very stupid. Let me say this. Any woman or that's what they do. They allowed him into the palace because he's a scholar, he's a teacher. They saw him as an intellectual within the Islamic world, or should I say Islamic studies. They allowed him in. He had to work on the gardeners, the domestic servants. He started to preach to them. We have come to fight corruption. We must fight corruption. Corruption is killing everybody. The same rubbish you're hearing today. That was exactly what they told the Hausa peasants. And the Hausa peasants aligned themselves with the Fulanese, and all their kings were killed. And if you know what I'm telling you, this is falling on you and his family. Before we sit here to preach this very gospel, we have done our research. I challenge anybody at all, any juncture with any alamati to counter what I'm telling you. Listen, of course they can't. You know it's the truth. Instead, they will abandon the topic and they'll be talking of something else. They cannot challenge what I'm telling you this evening. That was how they got into the Awasa people. Awasa foolishly allowed them. They killed every happy monarch you had in the north. And in this place brought emirs. The emirs that you're seeing in the north is a modern Fulani thing. They come with it, with their cattle. Some of you don't know this. There were no emirs in the north. None whatsoever. What you had were kings and queens. The Fulani brought their emirs before the our people realized what had happened to them, it was too late. Everywhere is a Fulani emirate. And to cover the whole nonsense up, they brought Islam, their own version of Wahhabi Islam, to confuse what is left of the brain of the Hausa man. And the Hausa man became useless. That till today, the only thing he has is his language and nothing else. The Hausa people, they are useless. So it's actually in the interest of the Hausa people to support the emergence of Biafra. That is the only way we can go back to who they used to be. To their former glory and greatness. Ahmadu Bello is the first very primitive xenophobe you had. And you ask yourself, what did the Igbos do to this man? This Ahmadu Bello, he was knighted. Admittedly, he speaks very crisp and clear English. Did Igbo people kill any Fulanese in the north? The answer is no. What is the crime of the Igbo people? This is something that Alan Onyema never knew. I'm telling him tonight for free. I am telling Ohaneze, Nyanwodo, I am telling the so-called governors, all of them, from the so-called South and Southeast, the entire Biafra land, I wish they can listen and learn that these people, the same thing for Chibika Amechi. You think if you pretend you're not Igbo, you're from Ikwere, I'm not Igbo, I'm descended from Bilibito, they will allow you to go in, you're mad. You are insane. Ahmadu Bello, listen very carefully. Today, they are bringing hate bills. I want to prove that it's the same people introducing hate speech bill. They are the hate speech makers. They brought hate into Nigerian politics. They brought hatred into. Let me say this thing to people because I read today Junaid Mohammed, as usual, that glorified Alamaji. He was from both sides of the mouth. That the Igbos, with them in power, there will be no Nigeria. They killed the leaders of other people. There is an impression I wish to correct this evening for the whole world to hear. The reason why Nzogu killed Ahmadu Bello was because of this speech. And the speech that Ahmadu Bello also gave in 1959 when he came to Sandhurst. Some of you know Sandhurst, where they train their soldiers. Nzogu was there. And so, a few other people. Some of you don't know history because you don't read, you don't study, you don't learn. All it is, you gossip, you get your 2 gigabytes of data, you go online, looking for a Babcock sex video, looking for Big Brother. That's all you do. And you say, okay, can I raise the volume up? Talking absolute rubbish. Your mates are all over the world, protesting and learning, studying and trying to grasp how a functioning modern society should run. But you're a lazy youth in the zoo. What do you know? Listen very carefully to this. It was, you see the same funny people telling about his speech. It's not good, his speech is bad. They are the ones that brought his speech. You see the same funny telling you, you're fighting corruption. Onyema is corrupt. This person, they are the granddaddy of corruption. Go and check them everywhere. The only thing they know how to tell is to protect their collective interest. They know how to protect one another. And that is the only thing working in the favor of Onyema this evening a bit. Because we need to protect our own. You remember Ibrahim Lamode of EFCC, how much he stole? We are going to remind the FBI, since the Department of Justice, let me not go to that. Let me finish first. Ahmadu Bello was the first speech maker in the zoo. Number 1. These are the people that hate everybody who is not like them. And Britain created what I would call an experiment in the zoo. Nigeria was not meant to be. Britain knows this. During the time of independence, they asked Zeke and said to him, have you seen what happened in India? You now have Pakistan, which is predominantly Muslim, India, which is predominantly Hindu, and you have Bangladesh as well. Do you want to divide? Zeke said no. He had this very distorted view of what Pan-Africanism is all about. But I will educate Zeke posthumously about Pan-Africanism because I'm a Pan-Africanist myself. I believe that Africa should be one. But the problem is, how do you get there? That is the problem. And that is where Africa is failing. We shall deal with that. Fulani, we are the first to utilize hate speech in order to dominate the political space. They want to stifle it. They don't want you to criticize them. When they bring cattle to your village and slaughter your mothers and rape your daughters, they want to keep quiet. Because everything you say is hate speech. I hope you understand it. That is why they bring, but some of you are so daft, you don't understand. Some of the idiots that work for Channels TV, I don't know where they brought those idiots from. They can see what is happening. Maybe some of them are Yoruba Muslim. Who knows? You know, conquered from, you know, that Stockholm syndrome. Once you're conquered, you copy everything from the conqueror. You become very subservient and very loyal. That's what happened to Yoruba Muslims. And it's very sad. Very, very sad. I want this lesson is on my wall, of course. But some of you, I can't understand for the life of me why people don't want to delve into what Ahmadu Bello said. This is the man they call the founding father, one of the 3 founding fathers of Nigeria. When you hear the Alemachis from the north say, oh, this is our founding father. We're talking about this man. Some of you claim you love Nigeria. Let's make Nigeria great, green, white, green. Now, let us go and see and play it for the whole world to hear what this man actually said right from the beginning, who he is and what he's all about. Let us, I want the whole, because sometimes our people, maybe it's due to lack of, there's electricity to charge your mobile devices or whatever you use to browse online. But this is going to play it for us to hear. The children are today lecturing us about what constitutes hate speech. I want to add a Marjorie in the north. Please to tell me this is all about.
One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have an almost full obsession about the Igbos.
This is the BBC. What you're hearing here is a BBC reporter talking to a people. Listen carefully. This was before independence. Or should I say shortly afterwards? The British government, they knew that the Fulani people are obsessed. You know what happens when you have obsession? When you it leads to mental map, it leads to insanity. This BBC reporter is now asking, why is it that the Fulani are obsessed with these people? So the hatred did not start today. Onyema is listening. I hope Nyango is listening. I hope the useless governors are listening. I hope the idiot with the 2x2 hotel in Jalingo is listening. The hatred they have for you did not start today. The white man is now asking Ahmadu Bello, why do you hate the evil so much? What did they do to you? Let us hear what the man has to say. Because some of you don't know history. We try as much as possible to educate some of you, but it goes into one ear and through that ear. You don't pay attention. You don't retain any information. But this evening, by the grace of Elohim, you will retain something right. I want to prove to you that the basis of your so-called one Nigerianism is flawed. I want to prove to you that you people are the miscreants. To you, that you people are the. I want to prove to you that you people are the idiots. I want an average Nigerian tonight that all their education is just and hopeless. You cannot love a country created by somebody like
the Igbos are more or less the type of people
whose desire mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. Then I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts?
Are you listening to what the founder of Nigeria is saying? This is the man that Buhari, dead one, borrowed all his philosophy from. This is the man that is the spiritual guide for Junaid Mohammed and Anga Abdullahi. All those Janjaweed Al-Majdi senators that you see, this is the man that they look up to. Hearing what he's saying about you, Alan Onyema, are you listening to what he's saying? You dominate. So anytime they see a successful businessman from Biafra land, they must shut the person down because the person has now come to dominate. Do you see the basis of all the lies? This was before the war. Some people will say, oh, Igbo people are domineering. But this was way, almost 10, 11 years before the war. Can you hear what Ahmad Bello is saying? A so-called founder of Nigeria. Let's make Nigeria one. Nigeria must be united. Is Gowon listening? What did they at this point, when this man was saying things, are you telling me that Igbos were planning to rebel, that Biafrans were planning to break away from Nigeria? I want to ask them, what prompted this? Because of sheer hard work and blessing of God in heaven. We are a blessed people. And because we are a blessed people, because Biafrans are blessed, you will always have enemies. People will be envious and jealous of you. It's in the scriptures. Joseph and the brothers. Once you're beloved, once you're loved, then something is happening to Israel in the midst of enemies. Once you're loved and appreciated, you will have it is in the nature of black people. They will create enmity where there is none. I want to ask those bringing in hate speech, what will you call this comment by Ahmad Bello? I played this thing in 2015. And Buhari was all over the place. What will you call it? This man said Igbos are domineering. We won't allow them. There is no way we can allow them to be part of Nigeria. The same Nigeria. That oh, they are singing national anthem. As I put them from South Africa into Nigerian national anthem, I was looking at the idiot. I was thinking to myself, can you see how stupid people are? In a country that you don't know that you are not wanted, they are okay with you if you can obtain a PhD and open a small 2x2 chemist. They are okay with it. But once you become a successful millionaire and inventor, once you become somebody important, you better be that important in USA or in Europe, not in the zoo. Because once you're in the zoo, you're finished, you're gone. Unless you're prepared to be doing what Emefiele is doing, which is washing toilets for them, to answer CBN government. He goes into the kitchen to fetch tea for them. Haven't you seen him? He's a boy, that's what we. So if you are a Biafran and you want to be reckoned with in government, then you must be their slave. Why Obiano will be begging them to take off his cap and be begging them, please rig election for me. I want to go in and I'll do anything you want me to do for you. And that's how they brought Fulani headsmen into Anambra State. All the governors, that's what they're doing. If you don't know, let me tell you. That's why you have the governor today. You say one thing, tomorrow you say another thing. None of them is consistent. Not one single soul. They're all terrified because Fulani will remove them from power. because Britain will look the other way. All the media in Lagos and Badon and Abuja, anything the government says they should do. If the government can control the judiciary, how about ordinary newspaper? Of course, they're chaff. This is what the founder of Nigeria said, your so-called founding father. That means that from the inception of Nigeria, Biafrans we are hated. Till today, they still hate you. Then you don't understand it. You think we just came up one that started doing Biafra for the sake of it. No. The hatred is too much. The resentment is too much. The neglect is too much. No human being can live through this. I have said this before, and allow me to repeat. If you don't have your pen and paper, go and get it. I am the mold of those slaves they captured in Onisha and took them to Georgia, to Savannah. And instead of them to be slaves to white people, they drowned the Greek in the Savannah. I've been there myself. That's where people like us come from. The slaves you see every blessed day talking nonsense about their useless from Nigeria. You have seen it. The founding father. So they'll come up and say, oh, we must try and build Nigeria. But the person brought the foundation stone, laid in such a way that there will always be hatred against you. They will always hate you. Let us continue to hear what he has to say.
Solely with Northerners and not with other Nigerians, a temporary or permanent one.
In actual fact, what it is a Northerner first.
Northerner first. Is that what they're doing today? Chief of Army Staff, Northerner, that was what they came to. I warned you anyway. I warned you many years ago, but some of you won't listen. So what you're getting today is what you deserve. Northerner first. Northern Army Chief of Army Staff, Air Vice Marshal, whatever for their Air Force Chief, Customs, Chief Justice of the Federation, Attorney General. Everybody is a Northerner first. All the army formations, police commissioners, everywhere Northerners first. Can you see it? So where is the Nigeria you're talking about? This is the man they claim founded Nigeria. He's the founding father of Nigeria. So Nigeria, with the help of the British, is their Northerner first creation. Has that not reflected in the number of heads of state that they have produced? All failures, by the way. All failures. By none, all failures. Look at them again. In office, failures that they can't even legislate. They can't even craft any proper legislation. They have to go to Singapore to go and copy. And they brought it and useless journalists in Channel TV. Hey, can you tell about your bill? The bill is not his own. He plagiarized it from Singapore Parliament. You people have no shame. No shame whatsoever. Let us hear what Ahmadu Bello has to say.
If you can't get a Northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract.
Do you know what they're saying? This is what I'm actually saying to you. If we cannot get a Northerner to fill the position in the so-called Nigeria, we will go and bring a white man to do it. And you want me to say I'm a Nigerian. Try that one of you. God should punish one of you. You people are evil. I don't know, yeah, man. And idiots like himself. You want me to say I am a Nigerian? When the founder of Nigeria said that he would rather give a job to a white man than to give it to a fellow black African. And tomorrow you tell me Africa should be one. Let us come together in Africa. Are you stupid? Are you insane? Do you see how foolish we are? They found is it not hate speech? What else is hate speech? I won't give you a job. Although you're a Nigerian, although I am a Nigerian, but I'd rather give a job to a white person than to give it. And this is Ahmadu Bello. They celebrate him every year. They name the university after him every year. That is how stupid Southerners are. It seems to me that the more you live to the Atlantic Ocean, the more useless we are. I'm telling you the truth. I'm being honest. You know me enough to be honest. The closer you are to the Atlantic, the more foolish You are in the brain. You can no longer reason. And they're saying Northerners first. You think they're going to promote Hausa people? You're dreaming. It's only Fulani. It's only Fulani. Malam Aminu Kanu had to fight his way into relevance. Aminu Kanu didn't join them. They formed the NPC, Northern People's Congress. Aminu Kanu, a true, typical Hausa man, formed his own political party. Not that rubbish they're doing there. Because Aminu Kanu knows the history of the Fulanese. But today, because they conquered the northern part of Yoruba, and because Yoruba media dominates the space in the zoo, they just, oh gosh, I don't understand these people. Do you see why they say that blacks are a bit funny in the head? When a white man says that blacks are a bit foolish in the head, you can see they have a reason now, don't you? Can you see that they're justifying what they are saying? It's not that they're racist, of course they're not. They're just telling you reality. Have you seen or heard a white man insulting the Japanese? Of course not, because Japan is advanced. This is the founding father of Nigeria. That's sort of like green, white, green, Nigerian. We believe in Nigeria. These are the idiots that laid the foundation of hatred. The foundation of hatred is keeping us up. That very foundation led to the pogrom of 1966. That foundation led to the death of nearly 2 million children, 67 to 70. That foundation is why Asoloka, or should I say, was why Akaloka was killed, beheaded, Gideon. That is why that same foundation, why Arewala Majuri, this one doing Babiala on the streets, can get together in Abuja. I don't know who wrote the speech for them, saying that all Igbos are now expelled from the north. It's not hate speech. You can see how foolish. Instead of people to rise up and confront evil, you'll be asking yourself, but what did Zeke say about this man? Nothing. Typical, the same, that line of a fulefu. Anything Nigeria does, as one of our brothers wrote, I think is Nicholas. If you slap an inflate on the right hand side in Abuja, he will say, "Oh, wait for me in Lagos, so when I come, you can slap me on the other side." If they never reason. They can never ask themselves, why is it that every commissioner is from the north? Every commissioner is a Fulani. Every commissioner is a Muslim. In your own land, police commissioner are all from the north. You don't reason. You don't ask yourself questions. But here we do. Instead of them to give the job to an Igbo man, we better give it to a white man. And you want me to be in that country? Oh dear. Let us continue. We must listen to this man. Oh. This is the man, founder of Nigeria. Listen to him. He's Fulani. This is the basis of all the hatred against you. It will never ever go away. And the fact that Nzwa will kill this man. Hey, the hatred, they magnified it 1,000-fold. That's the man that Junaid Mohammed is. Junaid Mohammed will not play this video for you. You will not hear, Kenyans will not play this or call panelists to debate this. Never. Never, ever, ever. Newspapers will not catch this very broadcast this evening. They will not. Because they will offend the Fulani masters from the north. I'm sure now you're following what is happening. We must listen to all of it.
If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian, but on contract too. This is going to be permanent, I should say, as far as I can foresee, because it will be rather dangerous to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions, coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed. Doesn't this damage the idea?
Did you hear it? I was not people, I was Fulani coming out of schools without job might lead to bloodshed. From the beginning, bloodshed. Bloodshed. These people are unrepentant killers. They love shedding blood. Even from there is no war going on. But Ahmadu Bello is telling you that there will be bloodshed. If you don't have jobs, there will be bloodshed. That's why Jonathan went and they stoned him. Nothing happened. If you try that in the South, every Yoruba, every newspaper, hey, they stone the president. They want war, they stone the president. It is in the same Nigeria that referendum, ordinary referendum, that people can check up the meaning in a dictionary. Where the Adamawa today and Bazonia had referendum in 1961. one. But to an average Nigerian journalist and commentator, if you say referendum, you say it's war. You want to bring war. You're saying, but I'm talking about referendum to ask people to. No, it's war. You want to fight a war. You said to them, no, sir, it is not. It's referendum. Can I please refer you to the nearest dictionary? No, it's war. Tell us to pick it up. It is war. They want to cross war. I said, no, I am asking for a referendum. The same thing that just happened in Ethiopia a few hours ago. Is that war? No, but in Nigeria it's war. You can see how foolish they are. In Nigeria it is war. I'm only on one video, just one single video, to lay the foundation so the world can understand that Nigeria is not viable, that the world may know that Nigeria cannot survive, that Britain may know that that cage, that zoo they built and caged everybody is unsustainable. Unsustainable. Let heaven fall, but that zoo must fall first. It must come down. That zoo must collapse. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter. Hate speech bill. You people are the founders of hate speech. The 13 Sharia states of the North, you people are the granddaddies of hate speech. You want to do to us what you did to Hausa people. You think you have sense. You convinced Hausa because I don't know why you convinced them. They can't convince us. All this your nonsensical program, war against corruption, war against hate speech. Our country will divide. You look at Rwanda, it's hate speech. It's all rubbish and bunk. You tried that with Hausa and it worked for you. Not with us. It won't work. So if there is no work, they will go to war, there will be bloodshed. That's what they're saying in effect. You know, we black people, we have a very funny way of feeling sorry for ourselves. We don't like telling ourselves the truth. We are not self-critical. We don't appraise ourselves. We don't sit down and say that what we are doing is wrong. That is why anytime you tell them, that's the way we reason like animals. You see a lot of people getting upset, but I say the same thing to myself. That is how you acquire a higher state of reasoning, by being critical of your by being self-critical, self-analytical. That's how you get to where you're supposed to be. And people should stop feeling sorry for themselves, for goodness sake. That is why Africa is in a mess. Every time pity. Give us aid, give us handout. We are dying. We are drowning in the sea. Oh, come and help us and fish us out of the sea. Now, somebody rightly said a few days ago, why people, you go and say that you want volunteers who will be slaves in America. People bring their own chains with them. Don't bother bringing any chains. We will come with our own chains. That's how hopeless our land is. And we are IPOB and we are doing the best we can to fix it.
Yes, all people in all regions in Nigeria being fellow citizens of one country.
Well, it might, but new to our region, but how many northerners are employed in the...
The white man is asking Ahmadu Bello, but all of you are Nigerians. He said, no, it doesn't matter. We are in the north. The journalist asked Ahmadu Bello, but all of you are Nigerians. He said, no, it doesn't matter. We are from the north. What matters to me is the north, which has always been their policy from day one. And I'm asking myself, all those influences, your so-called governors, your so-called politicians in Abuja, and of this world, don't they have access to all these materials? Somebody should send it to them. And that's all. Let me tell you what we're going to do, IPOB. I've asked all of you to go to Twitter. You don't go. Go to Twitter, all of you. Go and open a Twitter account, all of you. Send this very clip of Ahmadu Bello to every senator. Send it to all of them and ask them, are these people proposing this hate speech bill? Is this not their father? And the whole nonsense will die off. And then we are busy discussing rubbish. Tweet this very video to all the senators, and you see their shame come to light. Now we must proceed because the time now is approximately 13 minutes past 8 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. You can now see what a disastrous colonial experiment that the zoo became as a result of fusing together diverse cultures, religion, value system, everything is diametrically opposed to each other. That is, I've said it before on my wall, Mazen Namik, and I'm sure Maka is posting it also on my wall. This is the man who is a spiritual guide and the eternal leader of Junaid Mohammed and Nanga Abdullahi. I remember playing this video in 2015 to warn idiotic Nigerians what they are in for in Buhari then, but they didn't listen. Today it's playing out. Is there anything I said before that hasn't come to pass? Is there anything I said? Of course, there's only one thing we're waiting for, which is the coming of Biafra. And Buhari said I lied against him. Then it was reported, and I came on Radio Biafra to tell Buhari then, when he was alive, that you are not educated enough to speak the level of English or grammar that Ahmadu was speaking in that very video, so it couldn't have been you. He didn't pass his primary school, secondary school, no certificate. How he got into Army Training College is anyone's guess. He even for the certificate. And today, of course, he's normal. Somebody is ruling on his behalf. He became a head of state. Only a Fulani man. If it's a Biafran, you will find fellow Biafran saying, I am holding 7 PhDs. How can this man be going when I have 7 PhDs? But at least they can learn something from the Janjaweed, from the Alamajiri Fulani, from the north. It was these same Fulani people that used their hate speech. These same people, these same Fulani that used their hate speech. For those who do not know, they used their hate speech to convince and brainwash. You talk about brainwashing. The town is brainwashing them. But I'm asking the Fulani, when you came to, are you people from the north? Are you not migrants? When you came to Kobe, which day you renamed Sokoto, what did you come there to do? Without brainwashing the Hausa people, do you think you would have succeeded in replacing their kings with your enemies? Simple question. Because they did in brainwashing the Hausa people, and we are here educating our people. That's why they is brainwashing. Kanu is brainwashing them. Because we know their secret. You know, Fulani now, they think they're smart. They can do all their smartness with the middle belt, with the BRGIE people, with all those TVs. They can mess them up. Not us. We are Biafrans. We are naturally endowed with common sense and the ability to reason. And from a very early age in the village, we begin to tell you stories about the tortoise and all the rest of it. It's to train you to learn how to reason properly. That is one thing our ancestors gave to us, the ability to reason. That is why this gospel is sinking into the heart, soul, and mind of our people, because we have something that others do not have. We can reason, others cannot. That is why they hate us. They say you brainwash through Hausa people, isn't it? That is Hausa today. I'm asking even Hausa people, where are you people today? Are you not gone almost extinct? Except language? Isn't it ironic that it's Biafra that will save Hausa people? Isn't it very funny? It's a very strange thing, isn't it? All those minorities in the north that they have smothered to extinction, only Biafra can save you. I'm appealing to those of them in the north. It's only Biafra that can actually save you. Because we want everybody to be free. From the zoo, from that British-built zoo. It was the Fulani that brought in hate speech, nobody else. Look at Hausa peasants today. Are they any better off after betraying their leaders? I'm asking Onyema and all those people that talk nonsense against IPOB and its leadership. I want to tell them something. After even Afonja that betrayed his own people, the Yoruba man, the Yoruba king in a line that betrayed his people. After betraying your people to the Fulanis, what becomes of you after that? I just want to know. What becomes of your life after the betrayal? Look at, even if you see an Hausa man today, some of them may claim they are Fulani, but actually when you see an Hausa man today, ask him, What is the benefit, or what have you benefited from betraying your kings to these vandals from heaven, from Senegal? What have you achieved? What they achieved is that Gobert was renamed Sokoto, and all their kings were killed or sacked and replaced by Fulani emirs. All their governors, Fulani people, this. That is the price of betrayal. So how was some people betrayed their kings, and today they're suffering it. Nobody knows who they are, apart from their language. BBC Hausa service, and they're jumping on. After I go to eat BBC Hausa service. What is your status in life? All those things that Malam Aminu fought for, where are they today? Because you betrayed your forefathers, betrayed your leaders, betrayed your kings. The same way some Fulefus are busy today running around trying to betray IPOB. Of course, we know them, they can't succeed. Because we came with education and enlightenment, very critical in the life of an average Biafran. That is what the only thing we have. Once you speak sense or reason into a Biafran, they will accept it. They don't need to go to school. It's just they just do 1 + 1 = 2, and that's it. That is why we are formidable. We're in the hearts and minds of our people. We are in their soul. Everywhere is IPOB. I said everywhere is IPOB on the ground. Both the old and the young. I said everybody is IPOB. They now recognize the need for us to be free. I feel sorry for Hausa people. They should form IPOB. Hausa should form IPOB in Kano, in Katsina, in Zaria, in Kaduna, all those places that they own. They should form IPOB, their own IPOB, and fight for the liberation. Hausa peasants are everywhere today doing Babiala because they betrayed their leaders. The same thing became of us immediately after the war. All the betrayers, the Ifaginas of this world, the Wodos of this world, all the families that betrayed us, where are they today? They're the ones kneeling down and begging for governorship, kneeling down and begging for presidents. They're the ones begging. Are we begging? The answer is no. I keep saying it that the same Fulanis used on unlettered Hausa peasants of 17th century are using on the South today. My friend writes about this a lot, and I love reading what he writes. He writes about it. The South is so useless. We want to repeat the mistakes that the Hausas made. We must not forget, look at how they operate. We must not forget that the brainwashed Hausa people helped the Fulani that conquered them to conquer the BRGIE people and all the so-called minorities of the Middle Belt. You know that Babangida, you know the former head of the BRGIE. His father is Yoruba, but his mom is from BRGIE. He's BRGIE woman. You know that? In case you don't know, I'm just letting you. He's Yoruba, but his mom is BRGIE. He's a very clever man. So he ran to his mother's people. Very, very. That's why he got away with all the things that he got away with. They're not probing him, but they're probing him. But we'll get to that later. We must not forget that Hausa people helped Fulani conquer the Hausa. Hausa helped Fulani to conquer the BRGIE people. And the rest of the Middle Belt, the Tindis, all of them, if they conquer you, help them to conquer other people. That is what they're doing. But some of you are too blind to see. You cannot see it. Ask yourself, how did Islam spread to Kogi State? Have you asked that question before? Are they people of Kogi? Are they Igala people? Are they Fulani or Hausa? How come there is Islam there? So you think the Quran fell from heaven and landed in somewhere in Igala land? No, of course not. It's through conquest. Fulani people are very clever. I must give them to be honest. They are very clever. Once they conquer you, they brainwash you and tell you the other person is evil. You can't help them to conquer them. That's what they do. But in Biafra, they have failed. They have met IPOB. Immovable rock. Immovable. You cannot move us from where we are. It's impossible you cannot. Never, ever. They know you can you bribe me? The answer is no. Can you buy over my conscience? The answer is no. So, there is no alternative than Biafra. We are unbuyable. unbribable. Not in this world, not in the next world. We remain determined to get our Biafra. Do you know that they conquered the TVs, the Domas, the Gala, and the rest? And you know what they did during 1967? This is how clever they are. And I now believe with the help of the British. You know what they did? You are not angry. Oh, God. The TV people did not get angry with the Fulanis that conquered them. You know what they did? They now say to the TV people, the real enemies are the Igbos. Oh, you come and conquered me. I thought you would have been my enemy. Somebody invaded your land, took over everything that you had previously, raped your women, trashed your land, and you're saying you're not the enemy, that the enemy is those people over there that never did anything to me. That's what they somehow they succeeded. They succeeded in convincing Nigeria is very strange, honestly. They succeeded in convincing the TV people and the rest to go and fight the Biafrans, to go and kill Igbo people as much as they can. I use the word Igbo because that's what they use when they want to foment hatred. They use the word Igbo. You know what they use the word Igbo? So they can draw on the sentiment and sympathy of our cousins, the from Akwa Ibom, from Cross River. That's what they do. Very clever. Divide and rule. Very clever people. Guys don't want to see somebody from Akwa Ibom. I'm a minority. I'm from Akwa Ibom. I'm a minority in Akwa Ibom. In Anokaku. People are so daft. How can you be a minority in your father's compound? How many are there in Luxembourg? How many are there in Wales? I said, English has to be your lingua franca. Do you actually know that the Ireland, the mainland of Britain, everybody speaks a different language? Do you know that they have something called the Welsh language? That is what they speak, not English, but they are British. They live side by side with the English. Do you know that the Scottish people, they speak a form of Gaelic? I think is Gaelic language they speak. Are you aware of that? But they will come to Africa, they will band all of us together, they say, your language is now English. Some idiot will tell you, there is strength in numbers. I don't know where they got that rubbish from. How big is Luxembourg? Oh, yeah. Black people. I wonder for you people. I'm telling you, sometimes I ask Elohim, I ask you, but how did you, is it the same brain that you give other people that you give us in Africa? Or is our brain different? Well, how come we cannot reason properly? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? The entire infantry of the Nigerian army, we are made up of middle belt people. Their hatred is Igbo people. Why do you hate them? You say you want one Nigeria. You heard somebody hate speech from Sadwana. There was corruption rife everywhere. Zogu carried out a coup. And some of them are saying, oh, Igbo leaders were not killed. But was Michael Opera corrupt? Was Azikiwe corrupt? But it's in the zoo. It is quota system. If you kill if you kill Fulani corrupt leaders and hate speech merchants, you must also kill your own people too. That is how daft your average Nigerian is. If you ask the Middle Belt why you're fighting the Igbos, they say the Igbos are domineering. Have they invaded the land before? Did they kill your relatives? The answer is no. So how are they domineering? Oh, they come. And if they're a slave, they go to slave camp. After a month or two, they become the foreman because they are blessed. You can't take away the glory of God from them. They are blessed people. That is why we have writers, inventors, designers, everything, intellectuals. Not these days, before. The likes of Professor Ninjok, I'm talking about men that are well read and learned, not all this chaff that call themselves professors these days, they know nothing. I'm talking about Professor DK, that class of pure intellectualism, brain. At universities, they're stopping absolute garbage. Ask the middle belt man. But today, isn't it very strange? The Danjumas of this world that fought and killed Ironsi. He killed Ironsi. He's the one telling you to go arm yourselves. Things are happening. And now they quietly reminded him of his oil interest, his oil blocks. And he kept quiet. And the Alumajiri came in with their cattle, slaughtering them at will. You cannot, because you've been compromised, you can no longer say anything. People like us say whatever we like because we are uncompromisable. Do you understand that? They didn't stop there. You know what they did? You know they're very clever with the help of the British. They convinced Chief Obafemi Awolowo, a learned man, for that matter, that starving and killing Biafran children and stealing the money belonging to Biafrans after the war was justified as payback for the much hated Igbo man. Now we are on the second founding father of Nigeria. You've heard what the first one said about you and how he hates Biafrans. This is the second one. Who are the founding fathers of Nigeria? It's Nnamdi Azikiwe, Ahmadu Bello, and Awolowo. The second founding father, what did he do to us? But let us perhaps view a picture of what led to the coup. The reason why Zobo and Co carried out the coup was to install Awolowo as the president. So it could have been a tribal coup. Yeah? But during the time that the Fulanis came to kill all of us, to kill our parents and to kill us, Awolowo joined them. Awolowo will no longer remember that Igbo officers carried out the coup to make him president of Nigeria. He joined them against us. That's another second founding father. Your second founding father, you know, people are saying to me, oh, why don't you work for Nigeria? I just want to ask you a simple question. The first founding father that made Nigeria, you claim founded Nigeria for you, of course, is I. Is Ahmadu Bello. He hates our people. He hates my people. He said it openly. Instead of me to give a job to you, give it to a white man. The second founding father that we ran to, and we thought this founding father is better. We did coup for him to make him the president. He now turned around and starved 2 million children to death. He wasn't satisfied. I don't hate Oduduwa people. They must understand this. Some of my good friends are Yoruba. I don't, but I'm just speaking the truth. Awolowo actually opened his mouth and said, despite every international convention against his conduct, he said that starvation is a legitimate weapon of war. He's a war criminal. But he will not have the Yorubas admit, oh, how can it be his Baba? How can it be? Because they believe in covering evil. In Biafra, we cannot cover evil. If I do anything bad tomorrow in Biafra, I expect myself to be ostracized and hated for life. Regardless of what you've done in the past is irrelevant. What you did today is what matters. I will join them. Let me repeat. When you hear some Yorubas who are not educated, some of them, not just them, of course, we have affiliates, they are bound everywhere. Idiots are even more in Biafra land than elsewhere. When you hear them talking, oh, what Baba did was good. But the coup that the Fulanis used as justification to kill 3.6 million, of course, not just them, but the whole world, killed 3.6 million Biafrans, is to put a Yoruba man on the seat of power. Zobo did what he did as an Igbo man to make Awolowo the president. So where is all this hatred from Yorubas coming from? I just don't get it. Of course, the coup failed because another Igbo man thwarted it. Now, I am struggling this evening. I want to paint a picture for our people to understand that believing in one Nigeria is the greatest idiocy anybody could possibly involve himself with. We carried out a coup to install a Yoruba man as the president. The Yoruba man turned around and presided over the killing of 2 million children. He said adults, the only children. And after the war, our people took all our money from the banks. Nobody complained. The so-called intellectuals we have. That was why I said that it is the Fulanis that funded Ohanese. Ohanese never went to any international criminal court. They never went to the international criminal tribunal. They never went anywhere to recover all our money that Awolowo stole. No. Or the killing of our people. No. It's us IPOB doing it now. This same IPOB, we are the ones taking them to court. And of course, they will hear our case. Of course, they will. To hold, go on, and go accountable. That is second founding father for you. And do you still want me to believe in one Nigeria? After hearing what I've just put this evening, do you still believe in one Nigeria? When the two founding fathers of Nigeria hate us so much that they want all of us dead, how can I belong to that country? It's absolutely impossible. Awolowo, with all his education and intellect, agreed and served the caliphate with distinction, not minding that Nzogu risked his life to make him the president of Nigeria. They moved to the coastal regions. You know, they're very clever. This is them moving. It's a peaceful movement. Their approach is to destroy Biafra, to emasculate, because they know Biafra to exist. You need a man in it. They know the Igbo, of course. It's the truth. I'm not going to hide the truth. They know you need an Igbo man to make Biafra work. So what they did was a classic peace movement. They moved around us, hoping to encircle us, deny them access to the sea, make their own brothers to hate them, and then we have them where we want them. How did they manage to do that? They moved to the coastal region. Meanwhile, Zogo, on whose account they came to kill us, 3.6 million Biafrans died because an Igbo man carried out a coup. Who is that Igbo man? Zogo. Do you know, funny enough, Zogo's village and his people, they're not Igbo. They are normal, they are separate. They are Delta, they are Bendel, they are South, they are Niger Delta. This is how they do it. These are the merchants of hate speech. They twist everything. Fulani is very clever. Them and their counterparts in Lagos and the media, they twist the truth. They turn it upside down. But during the war, you killed us because an Igbo man carried out a coup, trying to plant a Yoruba man as the president. They came and killed us because an Igbo man carried. And then, after killing us, they now said, oh, no, you know one thing, that Igbo man that carried out the coup on those accounts who killed 3.6 million of you, he's not Igbo anymore. He's from Delta. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, dear me. Zoo. Let's continue. They moved to the coastal regions of Biafra land. You know, they went to Calabar, they went to the A6, they went to Akwa Ibom, the BBO people, they went to everywhere. They started to brainwash them. Do you see that man called Edwin Clark? Do you know him? Edwin Clark, you know him very well. He's an elder statesman. He's an elder. The chairman of PANDEF. Do you know he was a saboteur during the war? They made him Federal Commissioner for Information to betray Biafra, and he did. You know me, I respect, but I don't fear him. I tell you the truth. If you're not the one, I did, you come out and say it. You see that man, Edwin Clark, Edwin Clark. You know it was a saboteur during the war. He worked for Nigeria against Biafra. They made him Federal Commissioner for. I'm sure some of you didn't know that. Leaders you have, and they are your elder statesmen. Saboteurs are elder statesmen in our land. The same thing the Fulanis do to the Hausas is what they are doing. Then very slowly they bring their Ruga, and with that they start their small Fulani village, and from there they get their own Sariki. From there they get their own MA, and in the next 126 years we will cease to exist as a people the same way the Hausas no longer exist. Is that what you want for your children? I'm asking, is that what you want for your children? I'm sure not. They went to Niger Delta, the so-called Niger Delta, South, and Delta, and Bentel, and all the rest of the rubbish that goes with it. They swallowed the lies, hook, line, and sinker. Hence, everyone went to my alma mater, Government College, formerly Fisher High School. And by the way, Chino Achebe was there as well. And so was Super Frequency. Is that correct? Yeah, I think so. All the greats and the good, they went to Government College Omwahi. And I too was there as an Omwahi. There they teach you everything you need to know in life. I'm telling you. Hence, everyone went to Government College Omwahi with the scholarship of Eastern of the Eastern region. But he left when the war broke out. He joined his good friend Abacha, thinking he can betray his people. Before Abacha killed Cancer, Abacha said to him, "You think you can betray me the same way you betrayed your people? Ask those who survived that trial, like the likes of Mete. I think one of them is called Mete. He's a lawyer. He'll tell you. He will tell you. Abacha said to Cancer, you want to betray me as you betrayed your people. Who are his people, Biafrans? After everything that we did, we don't learn. We Biafrans, some of us, we don't learn. They still killed him. But I'm very glad and very happy for the Ogun today. And I'll tell you why in a minute. In a few areas, they call them Najalton. They prefer the Fulani more just headsmen, their own hardworking cousins from upland. From there, when they talk anti-Igbo, anti-Biafra agenda till today. Because someone before they said, my son is to go to deep Quran in the sea. So their approach is very simple. The British told them that the only obstacle you have are the Igbos. So you must devise a means to conquer them. So what the Fulanis did very cleverly is anybody they conquered, they descended to the houses, to the mid. So a time it built. Everybody moved, they took them. The people, everybody they took. Once they conquer you, the first thing the Fulani Caliphate drums into your head is hatred for the Igbo people. That's all. And now, instead of fighting them, you turn around and start facing somebody who did nothing to you. Can Yoruba say that we fought a war with them? The answer is no. Have we taken your land before? The answer is no. Did we force you to worship Amadion? The answer is no. Have we ever forced you to do anything there? The answer is no. So, where is the hatred coming from? And why is it that the last of Ireland here cannot see all this? Why is it that Ohanese cannot see it? Why is it that those that own cosmetic shops in Lagos and in Abuja cannot see this? Why is it that those that are selling spare parts in Canada can't see it? Are you people that blind and foolish cannot see the hatred coming towards you? I ask every other person in this zoo, what did Biafrans do to you to warrant the level of hatred that you have towards us? Just give me a simple reason. Is it because we are blessed by God Almighty? The same way Israel is blessed. You can't take it away from us. It's called blessing. You can't. You can't. As soon as they took a lot from the Yoruba people, Yorubas paid attention towards the east and forgot their enemies from the north. Despite the cage in Odi, you're not in Odi by else. Obasanjo flattened Odi. Some people from Izon, some pigs from Izon, they prefer one Nigeria to Biafra. But they came and they carpet bombed the entire Odi. They sank it into the Middle Ages. Can you imagine if an Igbo head of state we had to order the leveling of Odi by the Air Force, same way Obasanjo did? Do you know what happened today? But it seems to me in Africa, In West Africa, especially, the more you hate us, the more you come against us, the more we love you. Ask OD people, OD in Bayelsa, it's in his own land. What happened in 1999? OD was leveled. But the person responsible of Basanjo, hey, he's our the ex-leader. He's a statesman. But ask them about any Igbo person and they tell you that we hate them. They are not part of us. That is how sick some Black Africans are, sick in the brain. Our collective stupidity did not stop there. It didn't stop there. Our idiocy did not stop there. It didn't stop there. Now they moved into Igbo land proper. I hope all people are writing all these things down for reference purposes. When they finished with our cousins, the Efiks, the Bibios, the Anans, the Oron people, the Jaram, when they finished with them, they now came into our land. They kept shrinking us. From the north of River Benue all the way to Opobo was Igbo land before. Now they kept shrinking us. Until they squeezed us into 5 states only. How did they do it? Hate speech. They went into our land to decimate, to gerrymander our boundaries, to divide brother against brother, sister against sister. Take Ebema, for example. Ebema. People say, oh, how's Ebema good at the government area? Take Ebema, for example. Do you know there is Ebema in Delta State? Ebema, the same Ebema in River State. Do you know why they divided us? They want to shrink us. They want to make us smaller. The smaller we are, the easier for the final conquest. And how did they intend to achieve that? They will first place the fully governors in government houses. They use Ruga, they push in, and that's the end of us as a race. We are finished. Because Ebema, part of Ebema is gone. Part of Ohaji is gone. There is Ohaji in River State. If you go to the same name, they will tell you they are not part of whatever thing that you're doing. Yes, we are Haji. Yes, we speak Igbo. Yes, my name is Wike. Yes, my name is Chinda. Yes, my name is Woji. But I'm not Igbo. Have you seen such stupidity in your life before? Somebody is answering Fumilayo. You are born in Ondo State, Fumilayo. You say you're not Yoruba or you're not Uduma. Are you not insane? But that's what they have done to us. Very cleverly too. And as they're doing it, they're giving you your little position, federal minister of this, permanent secretary. So when you come back to the village, people will look up to you and say, oh, don't mind those Igbos. Let's get together and celebrate. We are no longer part of them. That's what they've done. They kept shrinking us. They took 3 local government areas from Ebonyi. They gave it to Benue. I said Benue is part of the north. And nobody is saying anything apart from IPOB. Nobody, no governor, no politician, no Hanese, no sociocultural, no this group, that group, this gathering, that, none of them. Only this same IPOB is fighting to unite this great family. And of course, we are succeeding. There is Ebema everywhere. But Ebema, your brother asking the same name. Maybe Yeshua in the other part of Ebema. So you go there, now I'm Niger Delta. Don't come here with that. You say, but you're my brother. We are the same. Until that was a woman drew the boundary. No. I'm now Niger Delta. Who did this to us? Who did it to us? It just can't be the Fulanis alone. Let me come to the beautiful land of Ogun and ask them what is the crime of an Igbo man. I know I am deviating a bit. I'm deviating to tell you the effect of the hate speech and hate actions coming from Fulani people from time immemorial. The effect on the ground. They talk about, oh, if it leads to death. But the hate speech you brought into our land have divided family against family, brother against brother, sister against sister. Some of you do not know that I was on my way to Ogoni land. The day the Nigerian army attacked me physically. They shot at me at Obakala. Very soon I released the video. That was the first direct assault I had. Thankfully, there was no loss of life that very day. They shot at us repeatedly at Obakala. Ask anybody before Obakala post office, that army checkpoint there. I was on my way to Ogoni. Maybe they felt that if they allow me to go to Ogoni, then I will finally succeed in uniting the people of Biafra land against them. Ogoni elders were waiting for me. They invited me to come. I was on my way to Ogoni when I was attacked at Obakala Junction. Attacked, they were shooting at us. Oh dear. The reason for that attack can be traced back to the fact that Fulani house niggers who are merely caretakers for the British did not want me to preach the gospel of Biafra restoration in Ogoni land. But I'll still go to Ogoni land someday soon. It was the great work the Fulanis did with their hate speech that made it possible for the lives of Chibika and Echi to be asked to me, an Igbo man. When they see him, he is Chibika and Echi. When they see him, he is Rotimi, the lion of Niger Delta. No longer an Igbo man. Chibika and Echi is his name. He's eating with the caliphate. The day they will strike him, the idiots will come me and say, oh, let's try and defend Chibika and Echi. If you ask him, he say he's from Rivers, not Igbo any longer. Only when he shoots him will you hear him say he is Igbo. The watcher and succeeded in convincing our own people, the same people from the same family, that we are no longer the same. You know, in the same so-called river, so they have people, Omuadolu, the children of one lone daughter, not Omuada Fumilayo. Omuadolu. They say they are not Igbo. Oh, yeah, me. But I love all the Igbo. I love all of them, of course. What they did when I went to Iguacha was exemplary. All of them, everybody. I went to Niger Street. I didn't announce my visit to Iguacha to see our brethren from the Joy Youth Council elders forum. I want to address them. In Niger Street, if you know Iguacha very well, Niger Street, at the heart of the town, within 30 minutes, everywhere was locked. People came out to see us. It was marvelous. I love everybody. But you know me, I'm self-critical. So when you hear me say some of these things, it's because I want you to repent and to change. Not because I hate you. No, I don't. I say it out of love, compassion, and care. We are one people. But Obibo in Iguacha. Obibo. They're very special to me. Very dear to my heart. Because everywhere in Igbo land has dual name. You have Afara in Abagana. Afara is where I come from, in Ibeku. But there's Afara in Abagana, there's Afara in Ikedu. But there's only one Obibo. Only one. The heart. And they behave as if they are the heartbeat of this very movement. And I commend them for that. Obibo. I'm telling you. I must commend them for that. But they told us that it's called Oyoyimbo, or whatever rubbish they call it. It's like telling me that Kanu is no longer an Hausa territory. It's just unbelievable. They would have succeeded if not for the coming of IPOB. Very little they would have succeeded in taking even Obibo. They had. And once they capture Obibo, we are gone. That is the heart of our land. But that is why I believe that the capital of honest with you, because it has everybody in there. Everybody is represented in Iguacha. But that's a debate for another day. Some people may disagree with me, but that's what I think. Capital of Biafra should be in Iguacha. I'm telling you. Before the coming of IPOB, that's before, not now anymore. A badly informed Ikwe man will tell you he's from Guinea, but his name is in Joko. But all that is gone, is in the past. But I'm just trying to let the world know the effect of the hate speech and hate actions from Fulani, how damaging that we are the ones that felt it. We've been feeling it for the past 84 years. Funny hate speech and hate action. My pride for people knows no bounds, of course. The same way that I feel an affinity to Abba Onish and Abba Keleki. I am indeed proud of Obi, I must tell you. The same hate speech the Fulanis used with the help of segments of unprincipled Nigerian media to demonize IPOB that made it possible for the Efulefu Brigade led by Ohaneze and Igbo governors to rise with such venom against their own freedom fighters, started from Ottoman and Fodio, perfected by the British and executed with precision from the time of Ahmad Bello till date. That is a fact of life. Look at all those that claim they went to Oxford or to Cambridge, all of them, those from the East, and tell me if any of them reason like a human being. All of them that claim they studied in England, as I did, from Muniamode to the lowest boot-licking Fulani lapdog in the government lodge, they are all against IPOB, despite the fact that we are fighting to save them from certain death at the hands of the caliphate masters, not also minding the fact that their caliphate masters are the principal sponsors of cattle-herding terrorists in our land, hitting us today. That is how stupid we have all become. We celebrate failure. You celebrate failure. Those who are saboteurs are those you're eulogizing, praising them to high heaven. Oh, this him, he's our son from our village, but he was a saboteur. He was responsible for the death of your people. He is serving Fulani Caliphate. Can't you understand it? Now let me ask you, do you think if Boko Haram were a Biafran group from the south, that any of us will travel abroad or be alive today? Believe you me, Britain will send nuclear bomb to level the entire place. People who are sponsoring 4 terrorist groups are telling you that they love you in one Nigeria and you believe them. Are you not daft? ISIS in West Africa is called ISWA, the one led by the son of Mohammed Yusuf, that Buhari, when he was alive, personally recruited. He was in a court of law. Some of you don't know this. He was released, the son of Mohammed Yusuf, al-Banawi. He is the head of ISIS in West Africa, recruited by Buhari when he was alive to head that terrorism. He was arrested and released by Justice John Soho. You know Tozo, John Tozo? Released him for lack of evidence. A terrorist. You also know about Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb. That's why US said that turning their firepower now to West Africa. Because our diplomatic moves, of course they're working. Of course they're working. Have they said that before? We went to USA and now they're moving into the... I told them categorically. I didn't hide anything. I told the US lawmakers and policy maker formers in America, the Fulanis are the ones sponsoring ISIS in West Africa, of which the son of Mohammed Yusuf is their head. They are the ones sponsoring Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb. They are the ones sponsoring Boko Haram, and they are the owners of Fulani herdsmen, 4 terror groups from Fulanis from the north. And they tell you that they want one Nigeria, and you believe them. Are you daft? Imagine if Boko Haram or any terror group were to come from the south, what they would do. They will use that justification for everything. But when they come out to run for high office, nobody reminds them, or no one says to them, oh, but you people have now generated 4 terror groups. How come? Because they conquer, you know, the effect of the loss of the Lorin on the Yoruba psyche is very damaging. That is why Nigeria is the way it is today. Because the Yorubas control the media. So they have significant influence in day-to-day public discourse. But some of them are Islam. Are you telling them that they're going to work against their Islamic brothers from the caliphate? The answer is no, they can't. That's why Nigeria is in such a mess. Now you know. I hope you're writing everything down this evening. Because the zoo cannot be the same after tonight. You know that. We'll repeat this broadcast almost every day for the next 7 days so that the whole world may know the truth about Nigeria. Hate speech about Boko. Obasanjo destroyed though, did nothing happen. He said 12 police officers were killed by unknown gunmen. But the same Obasanjo visited the houses of the leaders of Boko Haram that were busy slaughtering both military, police, and civilians. He went there to beg them to stop. Remember why they killed the brother of Mohammed Yusuf? Because he allowed Obasanjo to visit him. They are killing people. Obasanjo went to see them. You know, 12 policemen allegedly were killed, and he sent Nigeria Air Force to bomb everywhere. Because then Biafrans were not one, we are not united. But in the north, you can't do that to Boko Haram. Because their senators, their governors, their ministers, everybody is behind them. But in Biafra land, the Fulani will put pressure on our governors, on our ministers, on our senators to abandon IPOB fighting peacefully for their freedom. But those using terror to get everything for the north, they just allowed them. The same Obasanjo will visit Boko Haram. But in the case of Odi, they call it, he sent Air Force to kill every woman, man, and child. I hope you're following. This is how foolish we are. No wonder Europeans concentrated their efforts on the coast of West Africa because when they were looking for animals to work in the farm in America and in the Caribbean, they came to West Africa. You have seen how foolish, even the Fulanis, ordinary Fulani, they're making the brain. Fulani man will come to Ogonland and tell you, see that Igbo man there that did nothing to you, he's your enemy, and you're busy fighting an Igbo man while Shell is busy destroying your land. Who is fish? Unbelievable. The same illiterate Almighty senators from the arid north should be guided by these facts that they are the ones that started hate speech. All those Almighty senators from the north talking about hate speech, this hate speech, that, you must all know that you are the ones that started hate speech. Some inhabitants of the abominable nation, especially those from the south, with their warped and misguided sense of patriotism, still accommodate these very obnoxious and downright ignorant views of the Janjaweed to begin desert-dwelling cow-loving reprobates. Of course they are. I actually wrote this on my page. I have asked Britain to humanely dismantle their zoo, their big African zoo called Nigeria, to help put the animals inside it out of their mission. I am begging Britain, please put your zoo to an end because the suffering is becoming unbearable. There is nothing the Fulani can contribute to the advancement of daily life. They are not noted for having founded any growing civilization. No, whatsoever. They'll just copy, adapt, steal, and pillage. They own disguised and raw hatred from the core Arewa North is represented by the founder, so-called founder of Nigeria, Ahmadu Bello. And even today, before we come on air, listen to this very carefully. There's a headline that came, 2023 presidency. We vote for only northern candidates, irrespective of political party. This is the chairman of the Arewa Consultative Forum, which is the group that the Fulanis use to rule everybody else in the north. They are saying it openly. If this were said by a Biafran, they will say it's hate speech. How can you want to divide Nigeria? But they can say whatever they like. He is the acting chairman of Arewa Consultative Forum. His name is Alhaji Musa Liman Okwande. He said that Northerners will only vote for a presidential candidate of the North. Why then are you talking about one Nigeria? I'm struggling to understand this. They have told you they don't want you. The only reason why there is Nigeria is because of the oil and gas coming from my father's compound. That's all there is to it. Nothing more, nothing less. They don't give a damn about. And of course, for the age-long desire to dip the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. He said so today in Lafayette National States. I am expressing my opinion as a full-fledged northerner and the citizen of Nigeria as a full-fledged northerner. That is how they trick all of you. I'm a Nigerian. Look at what Arewa Consultative Forum is saying about their preference. And that is from the same Ottoman than for the land, isn't it? And they will tell you, they will read the election, because our next chairman is a Fulani man. So they will read the election and tell you it's the will of the European observers will come around. You know, the British ones, they ran away from Goyi. When they saw dead bodies of these coppers, they ran away. But they will go to Britain and they will write that the election was free and fair, apart from 2 polling stations somewhere in one local government by the corner of the road. There was a bit of a problem. But don't worry, that is not enough to nullify the whole vote. Black, this BRGIE. Hey! Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Who made it possible? I have some. There's somebody must shoulder the blame. Who made it possible for the bloodthirsty Fulani terrorists to be the ones calling others terrorists today? They're the ones killing people. They have 4 terrorist groups: ISIS in West Africa, Al Qaeda in the Maghreb, Fulani headsmen, and Boko Haram. But when you hear them talk about IPOB as a terror group, you will think that we have killed everybody on this earth. But they're the ones doing it. They're the ones bombing, doing banditry and kidnapping in the north. That is the warped sense. I can't reason this through, honestly. I put it down to those I call the intellectual Ifulefus, led by Dr. Azikiwe. I've now come to Azikiwe. The same way Ahmadu Bello is the father of modern hate speech in Nigeria. Azikiwe is the father of Igbo One Nigeria Ifulefus in our land and beyond. It was Nnamdi Azikiwe that brought betrayal into Eastern political mentality. When you see the likes of your governors today and the likes of Ohaneze Ndioshi, Nodus of this world, when you see them behaving the way they do, when they come out and they say they're going to sabotage Biafra again, their granddaddy is Azikiwe. I've now given you the 3 names of those that founded Nigeria. Now tell me if you want to live in a house built by these men. They didn't found Nigeria, of course. Lugard did. 3 of them. This is the inflation. He believes in selling his own people. Anybody celebrating Nnamdi Azikiwe is daft and useless. You are beyond useless. You don't know anything. I'm not a crowd follower. I give you the facts and I defend it. And I shall do so tonight. Nnamdi Azikiwe was a traitor and no intellectual juggernaut has claimed. Rubbish. He's nothing. He was an appeaser and a man dominated by the desire to rule an empire he did not conquer. Look at the breed of traitors that Zeke produced and their children who are today either living in Lagos, Abuja, Kano, or elsewhere. They are the most useless traitors and Fulani apologists we have. Who can dispute these very facts? The wickedness and spineless idiocy that characterize Modus Ohaneze and the present crop of Ifulefus in government houses, they call themselves governors, all stem from the politics of treachery of Azikiwe. Don't take my word for it. We are going to hear from Azikiwe himself in his own words, because Nigerians are historical. They lack historical knowledge and wisdom. They are not properly tutored nor educated, and sometimes I think they can best be described as indulging in intellectual banditry and poor reasoning capacity. As you know, it's not very good. But I'm just telling you, the Zeke of Africa, he was nothing. I want people to now listen to this very man called Zeke and tell me what you make of him. This is your so-called Zeke that they are celebrating somewhere in Anambra State. They say he's a heavyweight. He's a this, he's a that. Zeke is a disgrace. I'm sure he's in hell somewhere. An utter and unmitigated disaster against our people. We are suffering today because of him. And let us hear what he had to say when he went to London. He was running from our people. And he traveled to London. I want to hear what he has to say so that people can judge for themselves. So that our people can judge for themselves. The man is something else. Something else. Let us see if we can get him.
On Friday, September 5,
This is it.
1969, I alighted at the Lagos airport at 2 p.m. And I spent the next 21 days in visiting the capitals of the 12 states of Nigeria, including 4 university towns and certain parts of the liberated Benin. On Friday, September 5.
Now, did you hear him?
It's made it clear to me that all of us have now realized the mistakes we made in the past by fighting one another.
This is after the Fulanis must have finished killing our people. This is Nnamdi Azikiwe where he took money from Shell BP in London talking rubbish against his own people. He is calling our gallant soldiers rebels. Nnamdi Azikiwe. I can't call him Nnamdi, please. I can't. It is a very big shame. Very big shame. Azikiwe calling Ojukwu a rebel. Azikiwe, because Ojukwu did not give. The same thing they're doing today. He wants to be the leader. Anywhere he goes, he wants to rule. He wants to rule. He wants to be number one. How was that people fully rejected him? He ran down to ask Ojukwu to vacate his office. The same thing he did to Eyoita. Why did we have enmity before IPOB came? Was it not because of Eyoita? What this same man did to Eyoita? Eyoita was the head of government business in the East. He was sacked. He went to Yoruba people. He was kicked out of Yoruba parliament in Ibadan. He ran back to Enugu and asked Eyoita to leave. That is why they said that Igbos don't know how to share. It's because of this man, this idiotic Azikiwe. Some of you don't know this. After I call you on online, people who don't know anything. You know who is Eyoita? If you went to UNN, as I did, you know about Eyoita. Go and Google the man. Eyoita, EYOITTAH, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it ITTA? Eyoita. That's his name. He was the head of government business in the East. It was because of Nnamdi Azikiwe that he was sent back to Calabar. And from that day till now, the ethics have not forgiven us. This same useless Azikiwe. Let's hear him more.
Feeling, which is widespread, that all are now determined to turn a new leaf and help repair the damage we have inflicted on ourselves.
This man is saying that we inflicted the damage on ourselves. Our people were being killed in the north. The Fulanis came to our land to kill us, and after losing nearly 3 million people, this is what we brought it on ourselves. Can you believe such nonsense? Can you believe such nonsense coming from the lips of Azikiwe? Can you believe such utter garbage coming from the lips of this idiot? This idiot called Azikiwe. And anybody from today onwards, I assure you, anybody who comes out in public to eulogize Dr. Azikiwe, IPOB will go after that very person. I assure you, I swear it. Let's hear what the Fulefu has to say.
Not only that, there is now a deep-seated desire to have effective central government, which will hold the federation intact, so that in the future, no component of it shall be in position to challenge the fatherland.
Have you heard it now? This is what this man said.
That an entire present people, like the Igbo, have been tongue-tied and emasculated. That they have allowed tanks to blindfold and hoodwink them.
He is calling, you see all the language the Fulefu use. And now the kind is blinking you people. You are blindfolded. This, they got it from Azikiwe. Azikiwe is saying this thing about Ojukwu, that Ojukwu would win our people. Ojukwu, the people's general, fighting to save his people from extinction. This is what Azikiwe has to say about him. Or had to say about him. Can you believe that? Can anyone in their right mind believe this nonsense? Do you see what we're encountering at the hands of these Efulefus? Can you see how terrible that they have become? Anybody eulogizing or praising Azikiwe is a compound fool, a fool forever and ever. I will never be forgiven. I assure you, we will never ever be forgiven. They thought this type of things will not come to light, but it has come to light. This is hearing the voice of Azikiwe. Someone that played the voice of Ahmadu Bello is how you're hearing the voice of Azikiwe. That's the name of Azikiwe, calling Ojukwu a rebel, calling Ojukwu a bandit, saying that we brought the destruction upon ourselves because he has been conquered by the same Fulani mentality. Fulani got to him, they conquered him. That was why he remained a fool until his death. A complete fool. A complete idiot. He is. Azikiwe walk in hell. So that in a war, alleged for their survival. He's saying that we are alleging. You see where they got their alleged nonsense from? In a war that they allege that they are fighting for their survival. Hey, I'm telling you, this man, his head should dog from the grave and burned. I said this thing in 2009, 2012. People castigated me, understand what we were going through. They did not understand because they are out hysterical, they don't know anything. This is Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe uttering garbage in London. Shell gave him money. That is why they cannot believe that Nnamdi Kanu will resist every advancement, every overture, every attempt at bribery. Because I said no. I got to say no. On behalf of his response on the face of this very earth. We are not like them. We can never be like them. Because we are chosen for this very noble work. Chosen by Elohim to do the work that heaven commanded by the sons of men on this very earth. Azikiwe is calling Ojukwu. Azikiwe is calling Ojukwu. He basically blaming us. Do you see where the Fulefus? That is why when they kill IPOB family members. Why must you march? Why must you gather? Why must you accept? You see where they got it from? You see where they got his nonsense from? We hold them responsible. Now you understand. When I go hard against some of the Fulefus politicians, now you understand the reason why. I know them. I see them from a million miles. I've been preaching against this man, this Dr. Azikiwe, from the beginning. People didn't understand how evil this man was because he gave the father scholarship. When Awolowo was busy, not even scholarship, to one or two people, Awolowo was busy spreading scholarship everywhere in the West. He was busy selecting a few people, those who would be loyal to him. What utter garbage. What utter garbage. This is Azikiwe. Now you see where your problem started from this idiot. That is where the genesis. That is why Alan Onyema said, all these idiots started one Nigeria. You can see them from the mold. You can see them from the mold of Azikiwe. You can see them in a straight line. I can name all of them for you. Indeed, believe. Useless set of people. Unbelievable. He said he has a PhD, 37 people. Rubbish. A village bricklayer is more intelligent than Dr. Azikiwe. Very, very useless. They say, you don't understand. How can you look at it? Can you compare what Azikiwe is saying with what the Sagwana is saying? I will defend my people. I will die for them. I will not give job to any woman. Look at what this idiot is saying. Fulani came to kill us, and this is what Azikiwe is saying. I don't know who did this to our people. Anyway, thank God for IPOB. the greatest family on this very earth. Without IPOB by now, I think some of you will be giving birth to children called Amina or Dalhati. I'm telling you the truth. You people should thank, any day you wake up, you thank IPOB. I'm telling you the truth. Unbelievable. You heard from him. You will see these retards every day parading their naturally endowed ignorance on the pages of newspapers or as guest panelists on channels television. They are as daft as a Fulani in the Senate. You know that the daftest of all, a Fulani lawmaker in the Senate, is the most useless you can get there. They don't come more useless than that. Even in the zoo, their youths are worse. Place them on a stipend of maybe 2 gigabytes of data and a second-hand Chinese phone, and they will deploy it to gossip. And once they do that, you have made their day. Is it their self-important politicians or elders? They don't even understand the extent to which Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe destroyed our people. He is complicit in the death of our people between 67 and 70. In 2009, I said that Nnamdi Azikiwe's head should be dug out and burned. Today, I repeat the same thing. His grave should be dug out, his skull severed from the rest of his skeleton, and he should be burned in public. Because that man is evil. Many were led to believe that Azikiwe is one of the greatest Igbo men alive, but in reality, he was the problem of our people. We are still suffering today because of his antecedents. Do you know that Dr. Azikiwe appealed to the French government to stop sending aid to Biafra, referring to us as rebels? He was upset with the images of skeletal children on the pages of newspapers all over the world. He asked the French in aid to Biafra. And he's a great Igbo man to make it one. All of you that celebrate Zik, God will, all of you will suffer. All of you will suffer. All of you will suffer. I assure you. All of you will suffer. There were press, even a white woman realized that Dr. Azikiwe took money from Shell. Baby. I don't know what is wrong with our people. Anybody you give money to, they forget their principle. I thought it's more or less a recent phenomenon. I don't know it's been existing from time. Shell killing us. The same Shell went to Ojukwu in Enugu, and Ojukwu said no, that the oil belongs to the people, and they left to go and support the Fulanis to come and kill us. You went behind our backs, you went to London, and you took money. The same thing is happening today in this trouble. The same way Ojukwu was demonized is how some people are demonizing the leadership of IPOB. The same people working for Fulani, it has now been proven. Before now, people thought that the criticism of Ojukwu by Azikiwe was well founded. But you can see it's because Shell gave him money. And I'm sure Amaka is putting up all those pictures with the placards and the posters. Very sad indeed. I have the transcript, and I think it will be published. The transcript of what Zik actually said. After everything he did, no wonder another Ifule, Willie Obiano, declared a public holiday for him. You know, birds of the same feather, they flock together. See how useless they are? That drunkard declared public holiday for Azikiwe that put us in the mess we are in today. That tells you all you need to know. Only Professor Chinua Achebe, I'm telling you, anywhere he is, may his soul continue to rest in peace. The greatest mistake this generation will make will be to trust all these Efulefus. All of them, as you see them in the government, because they're handpicked. If you're not a loyal Fulani servant, they will never ever
rig you into power. It's not possible. It's not done anywhere. They will never rig you into power unless you are a loyal Fulani servant. Let me now give you the names of our genuine frontline leaders in Biafra land. Genuine frontline leaders in Biafra land. One is Mazin Bonoji. Write it down. People talk about leaders. I'm giving you the names of our leaders. Mazin Bonoji, Dr. Michael Okpara, Brigadier Timothy Omwatwegu, Colonel Joe Achuzia, the great Hannibal, Dim Chukwemeka Odumegwu Juku, the greatest of them all. The greatest of them all. The greatest is Ojukwu, the number one of them all. Philip Effiong, Dr. Kanibian, Professor Eninjoko, and Sam Mbakwe. The rest are basically chaff. These are your leaders. How do you know an Efulefu when you see them? As somebody who quite rightly argued, even if you slap an Efulefu or come and replace him with his northern, so-called northern brother, they will still tell you it's not tribal. Remember the case of the Chief Justice. What's his name again? Somebody needs to remind me. Our brother that was removed, the Biafran that was removed before the Fulani put in their own Sharia Chief Justice of the Federation. I need the name, please. It's escaped me. I need somebody to give me the name of our. I need the name. I need the name of our the Chief Justice. I'm not getting it. What is going on? Is there any delay or what? I need the name of the Chief Justice that was replaced. I need his name, please. By the Fulani Sharia Pawan Tapa. Did they say anything? It just ended. His name is Onogen. Thank you very much. His name is Onogen. Remember Justice Onogen that was removed to pave the way. And Justice Onogen, before he was talking about one Nigeria, how to keep Nigeria one, how to make Nigeria one big happy family. And they removed him after 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I told you. They brought in history. Nobody complained. So you're telling me that in the zoo, that anybody can come and appoint all their village people and there will be no uproar. But they're doing it, the Fulanis are doing it, and all of you are quiet. You cannot say anything. You cannot do anything. It is very, very sad indeed. Fulefu will see that the zoo is down in the drain and still believe that it can be salvaged. Let's help Nigeria. Nigeria will rise again. When did it rise in the past? When was it written anywhere that Nigeria was ever great? People didn't have much oil. You were selling oil. He had so much money that go on, as foolish as he was, didn't know what to do with the money. He appointed Jerome Udoji to head an economic panel. And Jerome Udoji, look at a black man trying to practice Keynesian economics, which is demand-side economics. He felt that if you pay workers 4 times their salary, that somehow they will stimulate demand and growth in the economy, not knowing that he was in Africa. All that happened was that you had quadruple inflation the next week, and the money became useless. That's the legacy of Gowon to the zoo through Jerome Udoji, practicing white man's economics when they are in black Africa. The record of Zeke doesn't speak very well. Let me go to Onyema and conclude very speedily, because people are now complaining about their data.
as usual. The APCEO is a clear message to use saboteurs, because it's been used, that no matter what a slave does, he can never be the heir apparent to his master. I think it was actually Elochukwu that wrote this. I read it and I felt it was appropriate that I talk upon it tonight. People have actually asked me, including, I thought the deputy asked me this. Try something about, I said this about the visit of Alan Onyema to my house. And I believe that what I said during that broadcast may have precipitated this very investigation by the Zoom, the FBI, at the instigation of the U.S. Department for Justice. What some people know is that Onyema came to my house. He visited me. I talked about the zoo and what's happening in the zoo. He talked about the consequences of the quick notice, the hate speech by the Alamajiri, those Babiyala kids in the north. But of course, I knew it was their master speaking through them. One thing he forgot was that I am a Biafran first and foremost, and I'm into it. He said he wanted to see how there could be peace, at least our people will not be north. And he said, anything you want to do, you can do. I too am against people being killed. And that was it. The next line I heard, of course, people love taking pictures with me when they see me, as some of you may have gathered. He said we should take pictures with the Alamajiri he brought with him. I can't say no. I am an Igbo man. I grew up in the village. You don't say no to visitors. I said yes, and took pictures. I started writing rubbish. And as soon as he went to BBC and granted them an interview, in fact, basically when I read that he said those he rescued from South Africa were singing a national anthem, some of the lazy youths online working for APC descended on IPOB saying, can you see one of you claim Alan Onyema is a Biafran? He was happily singing the national anthem. I knew his days were numbered. And then he gave the interview to BBC where he maligned my person and basically lied against me. And that was when I decided, that I know more about him than he can ever imagine. That was when they decided to move after him. So one of them wrote actually online. His name is Muhammad Al-Haji Danjuma. I think he came to my house as well with Alan. Today we paid our brother Namdekano visit, and out of deference, my brother Onyema and Mambo said we're going to stop any hate speech or action that will promote violence. I told you about Fulani. They are the ones that made the hate speech against the Igbos living in the north. He came to my house and he's gone back and he's writing that we all agreed to stop any hate speech. Of course, he said interestingly, he is for peace. Of course, I am for peace and well-being of every Nigerian, which I am. I have said it many times. I want all of you to be free from the shackles of Fulani hegemony and British neo-colonial slavery. I've said that many times. I want the houses to be free. I want everybody to be free. Do you think I'm looking for Biafra just for my own sake? Of course not. I want people to be free. Because if they're not free and developed, they will all flock to Biafra to come and seek, or to come to seek a living. I don't want that. I want people to be developed, to stay in their own land, practice their own culture, their religion, and do whatever they have to do. So I am for peace in that regard. I'm not a terrorist. So why shouldn't I be for peace? So I think they misunderstood me or deliberately chose to misrepresent my discussions with them. And that angered me, made me very, very upset. I am not, as an Okwana and Alpha, I don't just say that. I don't know how to say that in English. In my place, when you come and you say you have a proposal, I will listen. People come to prison to see me, I listen to them. People proposals to me was in DSS custody, I listen to them. Can't tell you to go away. I will always listen to you. Always. But what I would do, what I always do, remains a secret with me. But to compromise what I stand for and the Biafra struggle for independence is not something I will do. I'll be there 10 times over. I have sacrificed a lot and will continue to sacrifice until Biafra is restored. I don't care or mind what people say or do. Alan Onyema made a very big mistake, very huge one, by delving into a topic that is entirely above his station. He wanted to please his Fulani masters by telling them that he had a meeting, a discussion with Nnamdi Kanu, and that was a very big mistake, very huge mistake. A lot of people come to see me in secret that I've not told anyone about. They decided not to publicize it for their own good. He's gone ahead and done so, knowing fully well that IPOB will rise against him and that we will seek to defend our honor. Now we have done so, the Fulanis have moved against him because they know that IPOB cannot defend somebody who deliberately sought to undermine the effort and the integrity of this very noble effort. Alan is in a very serious mess. Look at him today and the mess he got himself into. The Fulanis, who are the greatest looters we have, they are in charge of EFCC. Ibrahim Lamode, have you forgotten? Look at all the criminal Fulani people. What do they know? They're not educated. They forge certificates, all of them. They rig themselves into power, or they appoint themselves into power in a so-called democracy. How many of them have been charged by the U.S. government? And I want to ask the U.S. Department for Justice or whatever themselves. How many of Fulani people have you charged? The time Omar Diko was in London, Omar Diko ran away with a mobile bank. Omar Diko ran away with almost £5 billion in those days. That money could feed the whole of Africa. Are the children not enjoying the money today? Some of you may be too young to remember a man called Ibrahim Taher. He was the Minister of Communications, Fulani man. They stole Nitel dry and set the building alight. Nitel building in Marina, in Lagos. That was how much money they stole. One of the was Minister for Transport. Remember Akinloye and his champagne? Akinloye was importing champagne in his name. Some of you have forgotten all this. These are the looters and the criminals you have. Oh, I was a Fulani. I wouldn't say I was a, please, I do apologize. I was a people. They're all Fulani, all of them. By none. Buhari, when he was alive during the reign of Abacha, was in charge of PTF. How about the 57 suitcases? You've forgotten, haven't you? Buhari was in charge of PTF, and he stole it dry because Abacha used it to launder money. You have all forgotten. Nobody's querying them, was investigating them. Alan Onyema abused the privilege I granted him by allowing him to come into my sitting room to sit down with me to have a discussion. And from there, he felt he could leverage that very encounter to endear himself to the Northerners. And they have turned around and rejected him. That is his business. I want to ask the United States Justice Department, how many Fulani looters of the Treasury have you indicted? I want to also ask the U.S. Department for Justice and the FBI, are you not aware that Tinubu was a drug dealer in Chicago? Did you not see the bullion van that went to Tinubu's house on the eve of the elections? Have you charged him? I also want to ask the U.S. Department for Justice if they have not heard about Aisha and his involvement with Halliburton, the bribery scandal. You've not investigated any of those because he seemed to be successful and because he went against IPOB again, which is a lapse on his part. But let us see how the whole thing plays out. We are not a fan of people that indulge in criminality. But everybody in the zoo is corrupt, especially politicians and those in high office. How to make their money is entirely up to them. They know how to do it. So we see how the whole thing plays out in the next few weeks. I'm not going to get him into any more trouble by asking questions I shouldn't ask at this point in time. But I do believe that he may have learned his lesson by now. That no matter how strong you feel, you are close to the Fulani Caliphate, provided you come from Biafra land. All of us. They will come after you. You see, write it down today. You see Chibi Kamage. One day they'll go after him. Write it down on a piece of paper. Write it down. And quote me when it happens. That's the way they operate. Ezekiel was after them. Look at you. You heard what Ezekiel was saying. You heard it. Yet in 1979, they didn't vote for him. They didn't vote for him. Because he is a Biafra and they don't trust him. They have come after many people, haven't they? They came after Ezekiel as well. They went after Ibe. This is after saying we are one Nigeria. I say I love Nigeria more than even the Fulani. You're finished. They don't believe you, don't trust you. Look at the interview of Junaid Mohammed today. Look at what Arawa Consultative Forum are saying. But at the high, I wouldn't say at the high, in 2015, the whole Arawa came for a meeting. They called stupid Efulefu, and they attended together. Let's build Nigeria together. Today they're telling you now they have the power, they have INEC, they have the judiciary, they have the media, they have everybody. They have the Senate and House of. They're not telling you to go to hell. Is that the population of the North is more than the South? So regardless of what you do, they are more in number. So they will claim and they'll give themselves victory. And you wail for a few days on social media. And you go back to buying a liter of petrol, 280 naira. And that'll be it. And when you hear that IPO rallying or agitating to save you, you take out of frustration and your hopelessness on IPOB when you should direct it against Fulani people. Our people are. Look at Ibeto. I remember Faneka telling me when we met in Kuje that Ibeto was suffering in the FCC custody. He dared to sell cement like Dangote. America is looking for who to investigate. Let them not anger us because we are watching them. If they escalate this thing tomorrow or day after tomorrow, then we'll all give FBI the names of those to investigate and where their money is, where they banked all the money that they from the zoo. That is something that they must understand. That is something they must know. We are not going to give up. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We will not surrender Ireland to them. Of course not, we won't. Because as I said before, I grew up in the village. That's the only map here by the water. So we'll deal with the enemies of our people first, and then we'll deal with Ireland later. But right now, we are going to defend him. we will defend him. And from tomorrow, we'll give names of those to investigate. People that actually looted the treasury. And be rest assured that Obangida's name will be there. When we submit your name, we'll also tell them where to find the money that you need from the treasury. So since FBI is now interested in tackling corruption in the zoo, we welcome them. We welcome them with open arms. We are now going to give them the names of those to investigate. Every Fulani criminal, looter, be rest assured that your names will be going up to FBI and to United States Department for Justice. And if they fail to investigate, then we will make the case that Onyema's case is victimization, a continuation of the economic humiliation of the Biafran people, which we will not tolerate. Some of you will sit at home, some will be gossiping, but I can assure you that I will be meeting those that matter face to face in America, discussing these very issues in the next few days. So we'll defend Allen, but I'm sure he's learned his lessons. Don't lie against IPOB or myself, or else you get yourself into trouble. Don't try the nonsense next time. And Allen Onyema is the very last amnesty we are going to grant anybody. Any if caught up in one Nigeria mess, from today onwards, we will not defend that very person unless you identify with Biafra, unless you identify with IPOB. If you don't identify with Biafra, we will not defend you in the future. As simple as that. Then you bear your cross. It is as simple as that. Innocent, we defended. Ibeto, we tried our best. They pulled down or they tried to frustrate energy as well. It is endless. And as one of our brothers wrote very movingly, only a fool would want one Nigeria. Only a fool will want one Nigeria. No sensible person will want one Nigeria. Allen Onyema served the zoo and now has come back with shame. But we must defend him. Defend him because the Almajiris, they hunt in packs. That is something that you must know. They hunt in packs. That is something our people must know. Even Amnesty International released a report accusing those governing or ruling the zoo in the name of Buhari. They accuse them of oppression, intimidation, disregard for the rule of law. Also, the American people will be hearing about this and how much that BRGIE has made. They have opened up a can of worms, I'm telling you. Because FBI will investigate, is it Yusuf Buhari? What is Buhari's